Hey there, it's Senne, and it's once again time for a Lawn Fawn Lovers collaboration video. And this April, the theme is interactivity. And here's the list of the other participants. I encourage you to go watch their videos. I'm gonna be using the Lawn Fawn stamp set Happy Village for this project. I'm gonna be making a slider card, but most of this video is actually stamping and coloring, since that took, well, almost forever. I'm gonna be stamping out quite a few masks because I want to do a one layer card, um, so to speak. Instead of stamping all these little fences and the houses and the trees and cutting them out, I'm gonna make masks and make one panel with all the details on. So I'm gonna leave with some music. I can't imagine you haven't seen a masking video before, so I'm gonna return when the masking is done. before I start the culling, I'm gonna draw in the road where my car is going to be driving. It is the car that's going to be pulled along the card, revealing a sentiment. And I'm using a Copic multiliner for this part. And then I'm gonna cut these two pieces apart. And there are a few places where the lines have not stamped completely without gaps. So I'm gonna fill those in too with the multiliner before I get to coloring, so that it has time to dry a bit. Well, there are a lot of information about the coloring, and if you can't see it clearly on the screen, it'll all be in the video information. Hopefully the instructions make sense. I'm first going to color in all the gray houses, then I'm going to color in the background, the road and the sidewalk and the trees, and the last thing I'll do is coloring the car and the third house. So I'm going to leave you with this for now. That didn't take long at all, did it? So here I am making blossoms on the trees next to this very nice house. This is a card for some friends of mine who bought a house. Unfortunately, I went to see it and the house was white. I did change the color of the roof because that was black in reality, so I made a red roof to make it stand out amongst these grey and boring houses with yellow-green gardens. And the Japanese cherry trees are blossoming at the moment, so I was inspired to put that on. Now I'm gonna make the sky for the background, and unfortunately this part is out of focus. I didn't keep a close eye on my camera. It rarely does this, and it did it twice doing this video, but only this part was not completely ruined, but almost. I've made my own little stencil to make these clouds with the Salty Ocean Distress ink, and I'm doing it on Strathmore Bristol paper. Say that 3 times fast. So, this is a fast and easy way to make an interesting looking sky. I ran out of time. Unfortunately, I wanted to make a sun too for the sky, but I didn't have the time. So, and this hill will help give dimension and perspective to the card. Also, so the world doesn't end at the top of the trees and the sky starts. That would look a bit odd. So here's some mowed lawn to darken the hill a little bit before I assemble it. Or no, I cut the mechanism first. Here's the mechanism. Unfortunately, I lost the footage where I cut the slit in my panel here. So I've made this slit, and I've made the tab that goes inside. The technique, I'll link 2 videos below which inspired me to make this card. And here you see it. So you only need to cut 1 line, and you don't need a plastic thingy or a penny or anything to make this card move. It could be adhered completely flat to your card, and I'm training it. It's a bit tight, and even though I used Bristol paper, 300 grams, it didn't really play nice, the pull tab. But I'm gonna enforce it later when I make a mistake. I need to change it anyway. And I forget to stamp my sentiment, which is gonna come out on the pull tab before I glue everything together. That was stupid. I don't know why, because I knew it's gonna be a very snug fit to get it all on there. Here you see the panels together. Just cut off the excess on the sides. So I'm gonna use my MISTI to get everything adhered straight. I'm starting in the back with the clouds, making sure it's turning the right way and the card opens right. And the hill. And I'm gonna pop up the houses and the trees just to make the slider slide easily. But I do believe you could put it all the way down. I know this is not the most instructive voiceover, but I'm a bit tired. This weekend has been fully booked, so to say. Been baking for a friend of mine who's having a big party, and he's been ordering my cake since he was, well, not very big. Now he's 13. Time flies. So I'm a bit tired, and but I needed to get this video to you on time. But I'm filling up with foam tape. I think maybe I'll make an extra video about how I did this. Reshoot the footage of how to actually make this pull tab. But I do believe the 2 videos I'm gonna be linking below will help you understand it, if you can't see exactly or figure out what I'm doing here. I wonder if you measured how much time we spent pulling off the backing of tape, what the percentage of one's time spent doing that is. Just saying. And the car still doesn't go back as easy as I wanted it to. So, and here I forget that I have to pull out the tab to actually stamp part of the sentiment. I'm gonna cut it in half here, so I can write congrats on on the sky, and then on your new home on the strip. So, and when I cut these, I always cut them at a slant. Maybe you noticed. This is going a bit fast. But it makes it easier to fit them together again. Now here we go with the pull tab in the Big Misty. And I forgot that I was supposed to stamp this as close to the car as possible. Otherwise the sentiment would not disappear underneath the road. But I forgot. So here I am noticing. Because I had measured actually before I even made this card if it would be possible to hide the sentiment, and I couldn't hide all of it, but the way it's constructed, you could remove the congrats and put it on top. So I made an extra strip and I'm going to glue it on top. I'm just working with the slit to make sure I can get it in once I have glue on it. And I'm gonna trace the car so I can get the sentiment close to it. And now we're almost done, luckily. I think I should maybe have put glossy accents on the windows of the car. I'm still thinking of doing it. I haven't sent the card yet. So just fiddling, getting the strip in there. And the added strength of the cardstock helped for the car to move easier back and forth. I just needed to make like 0.5 millimeter more room to completely hide the last part of the sentence. Unfortunately, I don't own any of the interactive sentiment sets, so I had to handwrite pull. I would have preferred a stamp, but I don't do a lot of these cards. But here it is, my interactive Lawn Fawn card. I hope you enjoyed. See you next month.